Hello everyone, I hope you're ready for a weekend. Although there's not many places we can go. Today we're gonna look at around the world in the past 2 months, where do people go? And our data source comes from Google COVID-19 Community Mobility Reports. This shows across the world whether people going to retail places, grocery places, parks, those other places as often as before uh, the COVID-19 broke out. The whole idea and the big part of the code comes from my coworker Ben during internal training. Thank you, Ben. I'm here to present the result. So to start, we're gonna import our packages, libraries for data processing, for Plotly for data visualization, and there's also a widget part for user interaction. So again, we get the link of this CSV file, the data source, copy link address, and we post it in this read CSV file. So we can create our data frame. You can see the first few rows, our data frame. And next, you can see that in this CSV file, it shows a few sets of data, whether people go to retail, recreational places, grocery, pharmacy, parks, workplaces, residential, and transit stations. And we can start from seeing whether people still go to work or not. I'm gonna select this, and the value of this variable will be passed to the functions later, so I don't have to change it all the time. So at first, let's start looking at the state level. As you can see in the original data set, these numbers is detailed to the state and the county level. So for each of the state, I take the mean value of each the county level data. And again, we use the group by function here. So I'm gonna plot a line, I'm gonna click on run, workplaces. And here I select only 5 states just to simplify this process. Of course, you can add more just by adding more to this listing. As you can see in the mid-February, there's a big dip on people just coming back home, not going to work. And then there's a recovery period. And after mid-March, overall the trend is coming down, although it's waving. And you see by the end of or around the end of the weekend, there are peaks that people going to workplaces. And I also can see overall Texas people go to their workplaces the most compared to the other 4 states. And New York people stay at home most of the time. All right, next, let's look at the county level for each of the state. So you can select the state you're interested in. I'm gonna select California, that's where I am. And I wanna see within the state, where do people go within each county, and whether people go to work as frequent as before. So click on run. Right here shows the county level data. As you can see, people at San Francisco County go to work the least. I believe they can afford working from home because of the industry structure. And as you move up, you see the cities are more tend to work from home. But as you move up, you'll see that the counties with more focusing more like focused on agriculture industry, these type of people go to workplaces very often, very high, because these people cannot afford working from home because of what they do. So I think this report is a good reference for the fiscal policymakers. So this is analysis showing for each county in California, which county have more people working from home and which county requires people to go to work more often, even during the COVID environment. All right, and let's look at how about let's pick parks so we can see where we can go over the weekend. Then let's look at for each state how often people go to parks. Overall, you see New York people go to parks as often as before, while California residents and Florida residents reduce the visits to the parks. How about for county level? So we still select California. We'll see people go to parks or not. Well, as you can see, overall, the COVID has a very slight impact on people's visits to parks. I believe for some counties, there are more strict policies, but overall, people still go to parks as they want. And as you can see, actually people don't go to parks that much during the weekend. So during the week, during the weekdays, people tend to go to parks more often. I guess that's to avoid the crowd. And there are still other data available, and I will post the data in GitHub and many other resources, and you can play around as you like. Thank you so much for watching and have a great weekend.